Hi everyone, my name is Nicola. I am simply a stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, it's wonderful to have you, and if you are returning, thank you very much for coming and spending a little more time with me today. So going to do a stitch with me and have an answer session for your comments today. And today's piece is Envy. So artwork is Marta Dahlig, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I am 24.95% through this piece. I've put in 90 stitches already today, but yeah, let's have a look and see how far we can get and have a little chat as well. So I'm just going to get the camera in the best position. There we go. Okay, we are off and running. So I hope everybody is doing well. As I film this, it's Friday. It's the 13th of October, Friday the 13th. I have work today, so I'll be going off after the hour with you guys and starting work. And I've got plans this weekend. I'm going to go and get a manicure because these are ready to be done again. So I'm going to get my nails done. Got Andy's children coming over and a few other little odds and sods besides going on. So I've been in the office 2 days this week. One of the days my computer wasn't connecting to the office network. And I went to see the IT guys, and they said, yeah, your laptop's pretty old, we need to get you a new one. And I have to say that within 48 hours of the request, there was a new laptop. Marvellous. Very happy about that. So yeah, shiny new laptop. So I went in the one day when the computer wasn't doing as it should, and I said to my boss, I think I better work from home tomorrow because I know at least I've got a stable connection there, and this connection is unstable. He says, yeah, no problem. And then obviously I got the notification that my new laptop was being delivered to the office. So I went in to the office yesterday to pick it up, and until I was told it was ready, obviously I had to work on my existing laptop. And literally every time I locked the screen on my laptop and walked away, it disconnected from the network. So it wasn't a moment too soon that I had the new one. And I got the new one, set it up, plugged it in at my workstation, didn't miss a beat all afternoon. I was like, yeah. So Andy's had a video that's doing amazingly well this morning. He put the video out on Sunday, and by this morning it had a shade under 50,000 views. 100 or so, 100 plus times more, no, thousands times more than his usual. His video's getting sort of 500 or 600 views, which is a little bit sad really, because of what he does is fantastic. But this particular video, it's about a TV series that we have here called Open All Hours. It was very popular in the 80s and I think in the 90s, although I could be wrong. And it was filmed in the next town in Doncaster. And Andy did a video about it. It's about 12 minutes long. And it's absolutely flown away on his channel. And he's had a lot of views. And we're both of us, quite astonished with just how well this particular video is done. So if I remember, I'll link it in the description so you can go and take a look. Oh, camera quake. Still early in the morning here. It's just a little after 7:30, although I have been up for a while. I went to my weigh-in last night. For those of you who are interested in following my weight loss journey, I've lost a further 4.5 pounds, which is about 2 kilograms. And I have got my 2 stone off award. 2 stones is equivalent to, per each stone is equivalent to 14 pounds. So I have now lost a total of 29.5 pounds. And I also got a couple of other things. I got something called a Club 10, which means that I have lost 10% of my starting body weight. And I also got Slimmer of the Week again, which is marvellous. I am thrilled. I'm just going to have a look, see what that is in kilograms, actually. Stones to kilograms. So 29 pounds, because I can't round up, is 13 kilograms. Which I think is rather good. I'm very happy. I'm certainly now feeling more benefits. The path I take to the group involves a footpath, and as it's getting dark here earlier now, I won't walk down this footpath when it gets dark because it's unlit, and for my own real personal safety, I'm not walking down a dark footpath. So I walked the long way round to the swimming club last night, and I was kind of power walking it. And I didn't even get out of breath, which was wonderful. So as I've now reached my Club 10 goal, I've set myself another interim target, which is to lose 2 stone 2.5 pounds and get myself more towards, you know, getting towards where I want to be. So I'm going to get through to some comments. So these comments will start from where we left off last time, which was comments on Floss Tube Stitch With Me with Sailing Fairy. That was the last comment that I had from Delinda, who said that she loved watching me stitch. So the next thing we start on is on live stream comments and then my Floss Tube last week. And let's go see what we've got. Oh, come on, thread needle. So first one is from Salita on my live stream number 4, and she just simply says hello. Hello, Salita. I think there's some more comments from her later on. It seems a bit dark on looking through the phone. It might come up to a little bit lighter on the video. Okay, so on Floss Tube 61, I was talking about my scissors and how, you know, threats had been levied about do not touch my scissors and certainly don't use them for cutting the tops off nail glue, which Lauren had done. Sassy Jack Samt. No, not the scissors. I also threaten my family when it comes to my scissors. I'm glad I'm not alone. Oh dear, this was a mess. The scissors are not to be touched. The girls do know this, but I mean, we all know what teenagers are like. To be fair to Lauren, she's not even come near my scissors, and woe betide her if she does. So next comment is on, again, my last Floss Tube, and it's from Rose Holman, and she just simply says, I want you to know how much I enjoy your videos. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you, Rose. That's lovely to hear, lovely to read. Thank you for that. It's nice to know that I'm putting out content that's appreciated. Katinka writes, again on this floss tube. I love the comments about the scissors. It's the same in my family. Common thread amongst the stitches. Anyone using my thread or fabric scissors on anything else is done for. Your new scissors are beautiful, by the way. Yeah, they are. I love them. They're a little bit heavier weight than the other pair that I had, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. They kind of feel very solid, so I'm okay with them being, you know, just a tad over. So I'm just marking off as I go. I'll have a few stitches of this one. Okay. Sharon Fennell says the girls clearly like to live dangerously. Oh, and how? My scissors are out of bounds. Yeah, unfortunately for me, because I stitch in my living room, and where I am, I sit next to the door that goes upstairs. So they're there in the passing place, as it were. It's a temptation. Great amount of stitching. Yeah, that floss tube, after a fortnight, when I'd worked on, like, you know, I think about 7 pieces, I felt that I'd done, you know, quite a lot. It's very varied, isn't it, the stitching week? Depending on what you've got going on, depends on how much stitching you can actually get through. I on a Thursday is my day where I get the least amount of stitching done. Case in point was last night. I got 400 stitches done all day yesterday. So I did a little before I went to the office. I took my princess into the office. I stitched half an hour or so during my dinner break, and then after I'd been to swimming club and then come home and had my tea, because I usually wait until after swimming club, I'd done 400 stitches all day. So but then, you know, on a weekend I can do 1,000 to 1,500. Sometimes on a work day I can do 1,000. I was stitching Realm of Middle Earth earlier this week, and I got I think it was Monday. I was working from home. No, it weren't. It was Wednesday, and I got 1,000 stitches done on Realm of Middle Earth. So but you know, Wednesday was a day that I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to do anything. I literally had to get up, stitch, work, stitch, repeat. You know, I wasn't going anywhere. There was no shopping trip or anything like that. No supermarket. So Wednesday worked out sort of brilliantly. It's a stitchy day, really, except for work getting in the way. Then my lovely friend Clara comes on to the same floss tube and says, I've ruined some scissors myself. I'm so guilty of that and I know better. Yeah, I've done that odd 1 or 2 pairs and not realising what I was doing, especially when I restarted stitching. But usually, to be fair, I either lose them or the kids get hold of them. I tend to manicure my nails and that ruins them. Yeah, I've done that once or twice. Lovely seeing all your beautiful stitching. If I could speak, it'd be marvellous. Those greens on Envy are my favourite greens, and I'm glad that Heaven and Earth Designs assisted on downloading the Josephine wall chart. Yeah, that will be a new start in this weekend's live. So if you are around on Sunday at 8 p.m. UK time, do tune in. I shall be starting the Josephine wall chart that Clara very kindly gifted to me. And we'll get a cracking on that, I think. Next year I'm having a no new start, so I have to start, that one this year. Then that takes 10 projects, not counting my stamped cross stitch and not counting my pandemic, which makes 12, but I'm taking 10 regular rotation projects through into 2024. So nearly to 2023 then. So Mrs. Miggins says, fantastic amount of stitches, another great gift. Lucky girl, sorry I missed you live. I did sneak in about 20 minutes before the end. Take care. Please don't apologise, it's absolutely fine. I do understand that, sometimes it's impossible to join a live. I very often miss, I'm hit and miss with lives myself. Like when Karen Needlebug goes live. It's very hit and miss for me. Sometimes I'm able to join and sometimes I'm not. So don't apologise, it's absolutely fine. You can always watch it on catch up anyway. Under the lives tab, it's always there for replay. Betsy Crowther says, wonderful projects in progress. Thank you so much for the videos. It's my pleasure. No problem at all, Betsy. As I said before, I like to get stuck in and get some stitching done. And making a video is, excuse me, it's just an extra few minutes and then I hand my phone to Andy to edit it. So I don't even do all the work. I just put it on his editing pile. And bless him, he does... oh, come on. Thank you. Just a quick drink. Oh, he does get on and do that for me, so... Leah Ravenga says, love seeing all the projects. Thank you, Leah. Plenty to go out on that last floss tube, the Whips Bonanza. Suzanne Molman says, teaching other family members not to use the fabric scissors is just undoable. I've attached some ribbon on mine and it helped a bit. They're not choosing ones with ribbons at all. They tend to do it less than. I actually had my scissors attached by a long, so it's just like a crochet chain to my Lowry stand, because I just kept losing them. But because if I travel with Andy and we're overnighting in a hotel or whatever, I usually take my Lowry with me. So it kind of got to be that I'd have to then unattach the scissors, then to reattach them when I got to the other end. And I just thought, I'm just going to have to find another way of keeping a hold of my scissors. I'm sure you guys have seen that sometimes when I stitch, I actually have my scissors in my hand. what I do is I put my little finger in the loop and then put them across the palm of my hand so I can hold them but still keep my 2 fingers free for the stitching, but I still got my scissors in my hand. So Brenda comments on my live saying, missed your live again this week. Watched the replay, it was fun to catch up with the adventures of your neighbour. Keep the videos coming. I enjoy them all. Yeah, the neighbours. Oh, I've done an extra stitch there. I shouldn't have done. The neighbours' antics, shall we say, have been interesting. I mean, obviously she's no longer living here because the council have taken back the property. But you know, she's back in the UK, and now because she's made herself intentionally homeless, she's having difficulty in finding somewhere to live, which really is essentially it's her own fault. She said that the police and the council have told her not to come back to this property, which is, that's not, do you know what, let's go over that stitch again, which we know is not true because we've spoken to them, and they said no, the police have said certainly categorically no, we would not tell her that. But yeah, she's made herself intentionally homeless and now she's having huge difficulties. Excuse me, I've got dry throat this morning. Okay. Danny Cross Stitch. Love the videos, beautiful projects, and watching always keeps me inspired to keep going on my own piece. Great news, Danny. What are you stitching? You should join in our lives on a Sunday. We always have a chat on there about current projects and stuff, so yeah, do try and join in the lives. They're fun. So Norma comments on my stitch with me with She Sleeps and says nice progress. Yeah, I enjoy stitching on She Sleeps now. It was very difficult to get into it at the beginning, but it's like she's grown on me. And I feel like I'm making decent progress too, so. Great stitching as always, but what exactly is a stone equivalent to? Yeah. It's about 6.5 kilos. 2 stones is just over 13, so a stone is 14 pounds. You know, obviously, you know, wherever you are in the world, you might work on sort of different systems. We do people weights, you know, certainly adult weights in imperial here, but children's weights tend to be done, or they're trying to sort of lean towards doing it in kilograms first rather than pounds and stones and pounds. And I've always been a stones and pounds kind of gal. So Katinka comes along and says, I'm looking forward to seeing you start the Afromov piece again. Well, I did restart that one, and I restarted it over the weekend, and it was out on my live last Sunday. If you've not seen it, obviously do go and have a look on replay. The only thing is that instead of doing it in 20 by 20, I'm now doing it in 10 by 10 blocks, and not in a column of 80 stitches wide. I'm just going to carry on stitching a 10 by 10 diagonal across the whole piece. And I actually have missed working on it, so I was really happy to restart. And me and Andy were there with the fabric pen, marking, remarking, checking, double checking, counting, you know, making sure that the fabric that I've got is definitely going to be big enough, because I don't want to be in the same situation again. I'm assured now that, you know, that there is enough fabric. I've checked it, he's checked it, so we should be all good. I almost feel that I'm to blame for the restart, since you discovered the mistake after I started asking questions about tent stitching and warping. Do you know what, Katinka? As I said before, it's another one. It's a good thing that it was discovered now and not when I got to the bottom of that column, because I'd have been double the amount of stitching. So, you know, whilst, you know, obviously it was gutting, it's also a blessing in disguise, because I don't think if I'd have got to the bottom, I don't think I would have restarted. So on my last chatty, I asked Clara if she restarted the Realm of Middle Earth, and she said yes. She's almost 2,000 stitches in during its rotation. And she says, you're so correct. I love the larger charts. I may never finish some of them, but for me it's about the enjoyment I get just from putting in stitch after stitch, so relaxing and peaceful. I hear you on that one. I've always said that stitching is my therapy. It's my escapism, and, you know, if I could be paid to stitch, I would be paid to stitch. I'd love it. For me, it's a wonderful way to spend a day. Being creative is sort of blah, 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 but do you know, I can't speak today. I'm so sorry, ladies and gents. Being creative for me is something that I've always loved to be, and stitching is my best way to be creative. She says, so glad you'll be restarting Night Cafe. I bet once you start it, you're going to feel so much better about it. Yeah, absolutely. And I do. I do already feel better about it, because it kind of seems different. Although it's no different. Except for it just being 10 by 10, it just it feels lighter, it feels easier, and I know it sounds daft, but that 10 by 10 definitely does help. So Salita says, oh my gosh, Nicola, you totally surprised me when you said my name. Well, I'm saying it again, Salita, and that's twice so far in this video. I almost stabbed my finger stitching. I've been doing that on this finger for the last few days again. I have these phases where I just stab my finger no matter what I do. it happens. So don't be stabbing your finger, silly, till it hurts. Your stitching is wonderful to watch. I love all of your whips. Thank you. I think I've got a nice selection, a nice arrangement of whips now. There's different themes and colours, and you know, and it just sort of keeps it interesting, really. I've got sort of golds and browns with the Realm of Middle Earth. I've got blues and greens with Sailing Fairy. I've got greens and blacks and greys with this one, and you know, pinks with She Sleeps. So you know, there's lots of varieties of colours as well, which helps enormously, because I've never been a monogamous stitcher. Well, maybe in the very beginning, but I only ever had one kit. So you know, to rotate out to different colours is refreshing, really. So Patty Miller says, another nice stitchy visit. Thank you, Patty. She says, have you done a no start year before? I've attempted it, but not completed it. So you know, there's always something, isn't there, that comes in and screams at you, you must start me. So yeah, I've attempted it but not completed it. So next year I am determinedly going to do it. She says, I've been stitching out my stash for the most part for a few years now, but I don't think I could go a year without a new start. I'll be watching and wishing you every success. Very glad you and Andy got to celebrate your wedding anniversary. May I ask how many years? You certainly may. So Andy and I have been married for 5 years. It's a second marriage for both of us. Andy was married before for, I think it was 4 years before his marriage fell apart, and I was married before for 16 years before my marriage fell apart. If I'd still been married to my first husband this year, I would have clocked up 26 years of marriage. But yeah, for me and Andy, it is 5 wonderful years, and we were together 5 years before we got married. So yes, our relationship has been a good 10 years strong. And you know, we had a very small wedding. There was just the 11 of us. There was me, Andy, and the 3 girls, his parents, which made 7, my stepdad, which made 8, my brother, my sister, and my nephew, which made 11, and then a photographer came, obviously, he was a friend of ours too, and his wife. So technically you could say me and Andy plus 11, but certainly we had like a high tea afterwards, like an afternoon tea. But there were just the 11 of us for that. Again, if I remember, I'll get Andy to insert a picture at the end, which is a picture, my favourite picture of Andy and I on our wedding day. But yep, 5 wonderful years. So next comment is from Missy. Thanks for a lovely cosy time with my morning coffee. Thinking about buying this chart. I'm so sorry I can't speak. Put my teeth in, I'll be all right. Thinking about buying this chart. It's Stephanie Poimonlaw's She Sleeps. It's available on Heaven and Earth Design website. But yes, Missy, it's a lovely chart, and with it being round, it's also providing that little stitchy interest as well. But yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? Portrait, landscape, square and round pieces. Because I've got all of those too. Middle Earth Maps landscape. This one, Envy, is portrait, as it is Mary Princess. My Aframov piece is a square, bar a few stitches. And this one is portrait. So that's the other thing that keeps the stitchy interest. Just mark these few off. Okay, Sandy, my lovely retreat friend. And she says, great stitch with me as always. So glad you're restarting Night Cafe. Thanks so much for sharing all that you do. I imagine it takes a lot to share with us all, but I'm so glad that you do. I spend about between 4 and 5 hours a week filming floss tube videos, and I consider it time well spent. It definitely it definitely is something that I intend to carry on doing. I have no plans to sort of stop doing floss tube, and if ever you see me suddenly sort of drop off the face of the earth, just, you know, send me a message and make sure that I'm still okay, because the chances are, if I've dropped off, that there's something serious has gone on. But no, I mean, you guys know that even if I had like a horrendous cold like I had a couple of weeks ago, I still come on and film for you because I enjoy it. Hope you'll get some good stitching in with going into the office 3 days. Yeah, me too. And of course, she says, well done on the weight loss. Thank you, Sandy. Take care and happy stitching. Okay. Stacey Hi Phil says, I love the charts by Amy Stewart that look like bookshelves. Yep. I'm not sure if I'm ready for all the confetti that I'm sure those have, especially since I've never done a full coverage. They are confetti heavy, but as I'm doing a max colour one, mine is sort of more confetti heavy than most. Colour expansion and regulars may not be quite so confetti heavy, but I'm sure that anybody who's watching will be able to tell you that sort of better than me, because I've not done a colour expansion or a regular shelf. So there you go. She's never done a full coverage yet. There's still time. Those scissors are so pretty, and I completely understand being protective over them. My wife grabbed my stitching scissors one day to cut strapping around a box, and luckily I stopped her before she cut it. That's dangerous. That's definitely living on the edge there. I told her if she wants to keep her fingers, she'll put my scissors down, lol. Yeah, I hear you. It's a dangerous thing, picking up a needleworker's scissors. Okay. Now I'm going to have to watch a video on how you start and end your threads. Thank you, Clara, for commenting on the video for Nicola to read it out. I didn't know that video was on there. I was going to ask about the way you end your threads. I hope you got something out of that video too, Stacey. Okay. And then on that video, she also comments, so I'll just park this one. Thank you for this tutorial on starting and ending threads. I will sure give this method of ending threads a go. I'm going to watch your Stitch With Me videos. I always wondered how you end your threads. Didn't get in the way. I was wondering how your ending thread didn't get in the way on the back since you cut it flush against the fabric. I figured it'd fall back through and you'd have lots of hanging threads, but I guess not. No hanging threads. Let me show you actually. The back of Envy. No hanging threads. Salita again. Hi Salita. Third time's a charm. Happy and belated anniversary to you and Andy. I've started a new pattern from our Forest Designs. I'm going to try it working in hand instead of a hoop. I haven't got anything that I work in hand. I don't think I could. I mean, especially with being a two-handed stitcher, it's not something that would be easy, I wouldn't imagine. Loving all of your whips. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. And you too. Salita, you too. So Esther comments on my ASMR Autumn Waltz piece. Nice, thank you for sharing. Thank you for a great video. On my start and ending as well. Thank you for those comments there, Esther. Autumn Waltz is coming up quite quickly in the percentages because it's like just motif after motif after motif, rather than rather than doing like a full coverage. So little motif to complete that, move to the next one. So again, I get something different in the stitching. Oh, excuse me, hiccup. The drink, I think. So I asked a question on my live, which caused a little humour. It went very quiet in the chat for a while, and Andy said, "Is there anyone alive out there?" And he said, "Bonus points if anybody can guess what movie that came from." Well, a couple of the ladies got it in the live, but Melissa Norris and Kelly's 1549 both also got it correct, saying Titanic, as did Esther. She missed the live but caught up on it later. And then Kel's Bells says, "Lovely live video again. I'm sorry I can't make your lives as I go to bed early and rise early for work." Completely understandable, Kel. I always watch them on a Monday morning, sets my day up and makes me want to be home and stitch and stitch and stitch. I always want to be home and stitch and stitch and stitch too. I know that feeling. Salita again. I put up Floss Tube 62 a few days ago, so I'll have a look at the comments from that. She says, "Hi Nicola, excited to see all your progress. I so look forward to seeing your work. Have a great day at work and safe ride back home." Thank you. So my journey to work is trouble-free. I take a tram. Sometimes sometimes Andy drops me off at the tram station. Sometimes I take a bus down there, but I pop on a tram, and from my town to the next town is 25 minutes because the tram links the two, and I can be end to end. From leaving the house to sitting at my desk, I can be there in an hour. And the same coming home. I leave work at 5 o'clock. I catch my tram at 5:30, and if Andy collects me from the tram stop, I can be home for about 5 past 10 past 6. Last night I was home at 5 past 6 after he picked me up. If I have to get the bus, it's more like 6:30. But still, it's not too bad, is it, in travelling terms? Sherry comments and says thank you for the video and progress is looking good. Thank you, Sherry. Jodie, really enjoyed the visit and seeing your awesome progress on your whips. I love that shirt and the colour on you. You can really see the difference in your weight loss. Now, the shirt I was wearing was kind of like an olive green, so maybe that is my colour. Congratulations, and I'm cheering for you from Texas. Thank you, Jodie. So sorry I missed Sunday's live stitch with me. We had a pipe burst under our kitchen sink and problems getting to the turn-off valve. It had been covered up with years of soil, and my son-in-law was digging with his bare hands. The water was spraying the ceiling and into the living room, etc. You can imagine how bad it was. Oh, goodness. Thankfully, we now have water again and the pipe is fixed with the bonus of a new kitchen sink. Jodie, that sounds like you've had quite the weekend there. I can't imagine. And we had a pipe leak under our kitchen sink. And I was sitting in the kitchen and I could hear this drip, 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 and it sounded like, obviously I could hear the dripping, and I said to Andy, I said, we need to get a plumber. And he's like, yeah, I'll sort it. And a few days later, the drip gone from being a steady drip, drip, drip to more like a drip, 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 drip. And I was like, we need that plumber. And we ended up with new kitchen taps because the taps were pretty knackered. So, but I think my next thing is a whole new kitchen, because my kitchen is knackered. I need a new one. That's another story for another time. So Jodie plans on being there on the live this Sunday and wishes us a great week. So thank you, Jodie. Fingers crossed we'll see you in the live. And I do hope that there are no more kitchen sink incidents. Fingers crossed now it's all done. That's it now for a good long while for you. Houses can be money pits. So Emily Buell says, love this one, like a silly sausage, had me laughing. Yeah, it wasn't really what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say, I would have had to flag the video for having profanity in it. Hope that makes you laugh too. Yeah. I do sort of tend to chin at myself a little bit sometimes, but it's all part of the fun, isn't it, of doing a floss tube. Loved your updates and glad you decided to restart your Afrimov. Thank you, Curly Crafter. Congrats on the weight loss. You look great. Thank you. I'm now at the stage where it can be noticed. I mean, somebody said to me at work yesterday in the office, I need to pass by, but there's nothing left to pass. Whereas before I had like a wide load sticker stamped on me behind. Now Now she says there's nothing much there. I was like, that's lovely. That, you know, I'm quite pleased. It's certainly working out much better than doing it via the group than when I tried on my own earlier in the year. So I will just keep doing what I'm doing. Keep doing what I'm doing, I can't go wrong, right? So Sue Landrill says, great progress. Happy you restarted your Afromov chart. Sorry I missed you live on Sunday. I fell asleep and you were done when I woke up. I absolutely am not upset or offended by that. If you need sleep, you need sleep. And if it happens, you know, during my live, then so be it. It's always there on replay for you, Sue. You must have been tired, that's all I can say. But when your body says do something, you do it, don't you? I will be trying again this Sunday. Can't stay long because it's just before we make supper, but I will try and drop in if I can. I enjoyed my time the last time I was there. Take care. Thank you, Sue. I enjoy the company. So, and of course, you know, for those of you who have seen the lives, you'll know that we make it a family affair because Andy chimes in and sometimes Lauren is here. Lauren is now being totally distracted because a boyfriend has come onto the scene. So I think her stitching and her crochet may take a back seat for a wee while. But there you go. Teenagers and romance. Okay. Kel's bells. Oh, let me just mark these off before I get to your comment. I don't want to end up not you know, marking off properly. No, I didn't do that stitch. So it's lovely update as always. Glad you're restarting your project. Can't wait for you to restart the last one shown, which is my Josephine wall. Looks amazing. You're looking fab. Keep up your hard weight loss work and happy stitching. Thank you, gals. I have no plans to slow down yet. When I was at group last night, one of the members got a diamond award for achieving her weight loss goal and staying there for a whole year. I want that to be me. So I will definitely be keeping up the weight loss work. I want to be at my goal, ideally for this time next year, maybe even earlier for my anniversary of starting on my diet. I want to be at my goal. Well, I was having a say on my floss tube about how I felt like I was doing the same pieces over and over and over again on Stitch with Me's. So I've just rejigged my rotation. And Miss CMR says, personally, I don't mind seeing the same piece in the Stitch with Me's. That's absolutely fine. But sometimes it's good to mix things up a little bit, which is what I've done. Okay, where am I? I'm there. Norma comments on my starting and ending, saying that was most informative. Good. You must let me know, ladies and gents, if you do try my start and end method and if it works for you. It does take a bit of practice, I have to say, but I don't think I would use anything else now. But just, yeah, let me know. Does it work? And then Clara comments 4 hours ago, I like the changes you've made to Stitching Night Cafe. anytime I've tried stitching a 20 by 20 block, I get all anxious. The counting and the parking messes with my head. I've tried several times to enjoy it, but I fail. Oh well. My love is a 10 by 10 stitch block. Yeah, I think that's where I'm leaning to as well, Clara. You're doing such a fabulous job in losing weight. I'm sure losing 12 pounds more by Christmas is a win-win. Want to do a little bit more than 12, but I'm already a good way into that target. So I've got 16 and a half. I want to lose 16 and a half more by Christmas after last night. So with what I've done so far, I'm pretty sure that it's definitely achievable. There are, I don't know if it's 11 or 10 more weigh-ins to Christmas. So I'll be aiming to get there. Enjoy the weekend and hope to see you during your live. Hope to see you too. So last couple of comments. So I've got Jo Sorensen, who's catching up on after being on holiday. She says she loves the pinks in She Sleeps. She had a little piece that she worked on while she was away, but it just didn't hit the spot that the large pieces do. That's why I tend to take a large piece of my Lowry if I'm travelling within the UK, but even if I'm travelling abroad and if I can get the piece on a hoop, like Maui Princess, and it's small enough to pack, I will take a full coverage abroad as well. So, yeah, I understand that one there, Jo. I love going away, but glad to come home to my stitching projects. And the Stitchy Spot and big project, happy stitching. And then she comments, the last comment that I have today on the Sailing Fairy, saying wonderful stitchy kindness. My speech is terrible today. Again, wonderful colours, stitching with you on my mirror, the kiss, happy stitching. And with that, we have come to the end of my comments. So another nice lot of comments this week. Please do keep them coming. I love them all. It inspires me to continue to do these videos, because I can respond to you all, and I do feel like, you know, you're all my friends and all sat here in the same room as me, and it's marvellous. It really is. So I will finish these stitches, and that will be the end of today's Stitch with Me. But I will be back on Sunday, 8 PM in my live video. On Tuesday, I will put out my weekly floss tube. On Wednesday will be an ASMR Stitch with Me. On Friday next week will be a music Stitch with Me. And then next week, the following week, then we start again with the chatty ones. So I'm going to have a quick tot up, see how many I've done today. I'd started off by doing 90. So let's see how many I've done, because I've marked them off, but I've not taken any notice of the total. Not bad, 299. So that's 209 stitches done. Filling in on this section. So yeah, it's all coming on so well, this one. So that's everything from me, guys. So all that's left to say is my usuals. 3 videos coming up on your screen. If you've not seen them, please do go and take a look. On the top right hand corner, there'll be a little eye. If you hover over, just sort of rub your mouse over the top right hand corner with a little eye, and it'll take you to this how I start and end my threads video, if you want to take a look at that if you've not seen it. But other than that, Oh, apologies, yawning away. Other than that, apart from double checking to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, all that's left really is to say take care, happy stitching, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.